is Olivia Kraus, and I'm doing my project on the Smartboard. The Smartboard is between $2,800 and $3,500, depending on what kind of model you get. To get a Smartboard, teacher would put in an order from one through their school and get them with the permission of the school administration. The Smartboard is essentially a whiteboard with computer capabilities, and it's all touchscreen. I'm going to go through how to use Smart Notebook and its basic capabilities, and also how to use the lesson activity builder that many people often don't use in their classrooms. I'm going to go through a little circle time presentation with you and give you some examples on how to use specific aspects of it. And these are things that I'm going to use in a future early childhood special education classroom. So first, just some basics. This is the properties tab. I can make a different background, I can make a pattern, I can make a gradient, or I can make a solid fill for what my slide would be. This is the undo, add page, delete page, save. And here I can make it full screen. And I can also use this button here to exit full screen. I can also add pictures and links from Google and paste them right into the slide. For example, here I got this picture from Google Images, and I got this link from YouTube. If I wanted to click on this link, I would click on this little world button, and it would go straight to the link. But this is a hello song that I can introduce my circle with. Another aspect I can use is making graphs and tables. Here I made this table to use the 5 days of the week. How to do it is I would find this table icon out here, click how big I want my table to be, and then drag and drop it to the slide. I can also drag and drop these pictures to the recording day and what the weather would be like that day. I pasted these pictures onto the slide, and you can also use the touch screen to drag the weather picture onto the correct day. On this next page, I made a blank slide so I can show you all the capabilities of this little rectangle of information and things up here. So first is the mouse. I can use that to select items. If I had a shape, for example, if I made a heart here, I could use the mouse to select a heart, and I could move it around. I could also delete it by clicking this arrow here and clicking the delete button. If I wanted to fill a shape with color, I could click this paint bucket icon, and I could fill it with whatever color I wanted by picking this here. This is the eraser. I drew something, I could make the eraser bigger or smaller, make lines, and I can also use a text box. This, one of my favorite ways to use the Smartboard is with all the different styles of pens. Here I can use all these different colors. I can also use a calligraphic pen. I can use a highlighter, a text pen, and I can also use a magic pen. The text pen is one of my favorite ways to use these pens. It's very especially useful if you're a teacher trying to write something nicely on the board and don't want to go back to your computer to type it. You would simply write it as you normally would, and it senses the letters and turns it into a typed text. And if it's correct, I click the check button here. Another fun way to write is to use the magic pen. The magic pen is interesting because as you write it, the words disappear within seconds. My husband is a high school math teacher, sometimes uses the magic pen when he knows his students aren't paying attention. So if they miss the notes, then they miss the notes. This next slide is one of my favorite ways to use the Smartboard. As it loads here, this is something called the lesson activity builder. What I chose to use here is a matching game, and I made mine a game to match uppercase letters to their lowercase letters. This version is underwater, but there are also a few other options you can pick to make it your own. To use it, the student would drag and drop the letter into the area and match its lowercase letter. If it was correct, it would match it with it. If it's incorrect, the letters would go back to where they were. I can also scramble the letters again here by clicking on this arrow. And this is a fun interactive way to teach a lesson. These are just some basic ways to use the Smartboard and some methods that beginners would find valuable to know if they're just starting to use the Smartboard in their classroom. I hope it was informative, and thanks for watching.